Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I want to answer another shubha regarding the martyrdom of Lady Fatima. This one is actually one of the classical ones. They explain the shubha with a great flair, of course, by saying that if Ali is the Lion of God, if he's the conqueror of Khaybar, and had a lot of achievements in his battles during the time of Rasulullah, how could he stand watching his wife being beaten and disrespected by the invaders and doing nothing to stop it? As usual, we should delve into this question to find the hidden layers in order to provide an accurate answer. The goal of this shubha is to deny the incident of the door and the invasion of the house altogether by stating that Ali is a brave person. He wouldn't stand watching this situation, so it never happened. Before providing the real answer, we should know that there are some counterexamples for the Sunnis. In the books and in their beliefs, there are certain individuals that they were put in the same setting, same circumstances, and they acted just like Amir al-Mu'minin or even worse than him. Let's see this together. The first one, they have this hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, which is narrated by Abu Huraira. Of course, we don't accept this. We don't believe that Abu Huraira is a thugha person, an authentic person. But anyway, they believe in it, so let's go through it. They say Ibrahim alayhi salam went through a town, and the ruler of that town disrespected his lady Sarah, but he didn't do anything to stop it. He just prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the problem to be solved. This is the Prophet of God in your view, and he didn't do anything. Whatever answer you provide for this situation, for this case, we will provide for Amir al-Mu'minin. This is the first one. There's also the undeniable facts of the invasion of the house of Uthman. We all know about it. It is said that the attackers entered his house, he didn't do anything. They attacked his lady and severed some of her fingers, he didn't do anything. And they even did some obscene things with her lady, and he still didn't do anything to stop it. And at the end, he himself was killed by those attackers. Whatever you say here, we will say for Amir. We also have the same situation for Umar. I don't want to get into the details. You can refer to the address and study about it. With the same situation, there are certain authentic counterexamples that are accepted by Shia as well. For starters, we know that Rasulullah's mission lasted for 13 years in Mecca. During this time, all the Muslims went through a lot of hardships. Some of them were held captives, some of them were tortured, and some of them even got martyred. But Rasulullah didn't do anything to stop it. In Lady Sumayya's case, the first lady who was martyred in Islam, it is said that Abu Jahl hit her with a stick in her crotch so many times that she got martyred because of the pain and the harm that he inflicted on her. But again, we don't know anything about Rasulullah trying to stop this. He always invited the mu'mineen, the Muslims during the time, to observe patience because of the benefits. Another authentic counterexample is the story of Prophet Lut. We've heard in the Quran that the infidels invaded his house, but despite the fact, the Prophet didn't do anything to stop them, and he even offered her daughters to them to stop them from doing that obscene thing that they had in mind. You see that even the Prophet, because of the benefit, because of maslahah, didn't resort to violence, didn't resort to his sword. Okay, so far, the answers we provided are just counterexamples that some of them are accepted by the Sunnis and some of them are accepted by both of Sunnis and Shia. Now let's get to the main answer and to know what really happened that time. Well, it is good to know that Amir al-Mu'minin didn't stay silent that day. Yeah, they attacked his house and he didn't stop them that time, but it is written in history that he grabbed one of the attackers from the collar, hit him a few times in his face and in neck, and threw him on the ground and wanted to kill him just to remember the promise that he gave to Rasulullah. It is narrated in Khasa'is al-Ummah and also in Usul al-Kafi that Rasulullah, with different wordings of course, that Rasulullah took promise from Amir al-Mu'minin to observe patience. Another thing that we should know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam invited Amir al-Mu'minin to observe patience, not because he, al-ayadu billah, was fearful of his life or a coward person. It was because of certain reasons. The first one is, Amir al-Mu'minin lacked enough manpower to go against the usurpers. It is said in a very famous khutbah called Khutbah al-Talutiyya in Usul al-Kafi that according to Mir'atul Ubul, written by Allama al-Majlisi, it is surely the wordings of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and we can easily attribute it to the Imam alayhi salam. In this khutbah, it is said that some people gathered around Amir al-Mu'mineen by claiming that they want to support him. Imam alayhi salam accepted this, said, okay, first light in the morning, gather in a specific place and shave your head as a sign that you're ready to give your life for me. But the next morning, when Amir al-Mu'mineen went to that place, only a few of them were presented, like Salman, Abu Dhar, Ammar, and the other ones. So they just backed down without supporting the Imam. So he didn't have any manpower to stop him. This is the first one. It is very painful to know that Amir al-Mu'mineen was so alone that he wished for having only 30 people to support him. Yeah, it is narrated in Usul al-Kafi that Amir al-Mu'mineen went outside the mosque and witnessed around 30 sheep and said, I wish I had 30 faithful people by the number of these sheep. Another reason is that if Amir al-Mu'mineen wanted to insist on stopping them and drawing his sword to attack them, yeah, we know he is a brave person and he can defend himself and everything. But during that time, Hassanain and Lady Fatima were defenseless. Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam were mere children. They didn't have enough power to defend themselves. And they were at the mercy of those attackers and the invaders of the house. If they got angry and witnessed some of them were killed by Amir al-Mu'mineen, they would easily attack Lady Fatima to kill him on spot and his children as well. So given the circumstances, we can say Amir al-Mu'mineen took the best course of action, because it was either him insisting on his right and drawing his sword and killing miraculously some of them, that wasn't enough, and actually it was a starting point for a civil strife in the newly formed Islamic Ummah, or giving up his right, stepping aside, and let the Islamic Ummah and Islamic country to grow. At the end, I want to introduce a very informative book called Ma'asatu Zahra, or The Hardship of Zahra Salamullah Alayha. In this book, the author, Sayyid Ja'far Murtada Amali, claims, that I think is very true one, that there was a big arrangement between Amir al-Mu'mineen and Lady Fatima alayhim salam for her to be behind the door and stop the invasion. Because they knew, because of the circumstances that we went through, lack of the manpower, the danger for the Hassanain and Lady Fatima herself, for the promise that Amir al-Mu'mineen gave to Rasulullah and other things, they had to make it costly for the attackers. If they wanted to have the caliphates in their hands, they had to pay the price. And what price is bigger than Lady Fatima, who is the Bad'ah of Rasulullah, who is the Sayyidatu Nisa'il Alameen, who is the mother of Sayyida Shababi Ahlil Jannah, who is Abiha, and countless other epithets that we have from Rasulullah about Lady Fatima. They knew attacking her house was very costly for them. They stopped and they wanted to refrain from doing so, and they observed that as much as they could. But at the end, when they saw that Amir al-Mu'mineen and Lady Fatima won't stop, and they insist on stopping them and not giving the allegiance to them, they finally attacked the house, and they did what they did. Lady Fatima had to stop them so that they would not later claim that no one stood up against them, just like some of the Sunnis claim nowadays even, that Rasulullah didn't choose anyone as his successor. He couldn't think straight as much as Abu Bakr and Umar, who chose someone as their successor. So after his passing, no one would step up. Ali was in house, he didn't do anything. So they had to assume power, and they are appreciated because of that. The invasion of the house of revelation, the house of Lady Fatima, and inflicting harm and hardship to the lady that led to her martyrdom, is a clear sign that they were so power thirsty that they would resort to anything to grab that power. So it wasn't an open ground for them, and they are appreciated for assuming power after Rasulullah. They were opposed by Lady Fatima and Amir al-Mu'mineen, of course. This is the whole idea of what Sayyid Ja'far Murtada Amali tries to say, but I really and highly encourage you to go ahead and read the book called Ma'asatu Zahra, or The Hardship of Lady Fatima. Thank you for staying with me until now, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and give your thoughts to us in the comment section down below.